The Iowa State Fair starts next week, and that means it's almost time for the Governor's Charity Steer Show. This event, now in its 44th year, is a fundraiser for Iowa's 3 Ronald McDonald Houses in Sioux City, Des Moines, and Iowa City. This year, representing the Ronald McDonald House of Siouxland will be a steer from Kingsley. KTIV's Jacqueline Aragon introduces us to Rocco and the young showman who raised him.
The Governor's Steer Show isn't really a cupcake. It's kind of hard to win because it's really some of the best looking steers around Iowa.
And out of the 25 calves showing this year, Jace Plendle and his steer Rocco are representing the Siouxland Ronald McDonald House for the Iowa Governor's Charity Steer Show on August 15th.
Me and Rocco definitely like each other a lot. He likes to get good pets.
Rocco became a part of the Plendle family September of last year, named after former Iowa State Cyclone quarterback Rocco Becht.
Too bad he transferred, though.
So far, Rocco and Plendle have shown together in Brookings, South Dakota, and the Plymouth County Fair, before they were selected in June to be a part of the State Fair show.
You weren't surprised at all?
No, I'm feeling really great because Plymouth County was really tough this year, but he still got top 5, which I'm happy with. So I can imagine he'll do really well.
To give Rocco the best chance at first place, 3 days each week, he gets not 1 bath, but 2.
About 6 o'clock, we'll start rinsing him, and then we'll take him back in the barn and we'll blow him out, and that works his hair up, gets the water out. It's kind of like conditioner. We put conditioner stuff in it.
Continues practicing their strut.
But if you definitely have an attractive walk, then the judge will like that.
And eats the best food possible to fill out his shape.
The hair is just kind of something that complements his body, but you kind of want one that has good flow from his legs to his loins and his chest, all the way back to his butt area with a good long neck. Shows off his meat really well, his brisket.
In that brisket, his size, and his walk, that's what judges are looking to determine whether or not Rocco is a winner. Together, Jason and Rocco will compete for 3 awards: the most money raised, the best calf, the best showman.
Camera shot of it.
As for what follows for the state fair, Rocco is off to college at the Iowa State University.
They get to kind of research about him, learn more about his genetics.
In Kingsley, Iowa, Jacqueline Aragon, KTIV News 4.
Have fun being a Cyclone, Rocco. Well, the Governor's Charity Steer Show is a week from tomorrow at the Iowa State Fair. 2 other Siouxland steers will be featured. Norm, who was raised by Kaylee England of Orange City and will be shown by Governor Kim Reynolds, and Roscoe, who was raised by Grayson Plagge of Denison and will be shown by Lieutenant Governor Chris Gerhardt Kernoyer. Last year, the steer show brought in a record $569,000 for Iowa's 3 Ronald McDonald Houses. You can actually donate online now in honor of one of those steers. Find the link within this story at KTIV.com.